Welcome to the Ages of Rock podcast with your hosts Bill Algie, Dennis Talbot, and Alan Tate. We are three guys who have one thing in common, a love of rock and roll. Our goal is to talk about all things rock. We hope you find this show intriguing, funny, and occasionally highly opinionated. Enjoy!
Hey, welcome back to the Ages of Rock podcast. It's Bill, Alan, and Dennis bringing you episode number 155. And today's episode, it's the one and only Jeff Pilson.
Kick ass.
Oh, the busiest dude in music right now. He's in with everybody. Anyway,
Bill's,
before we get to that, I'm like,
Bill's got a half a cold and half a chubby right now.
exactly right. Exactly right.
Did you say you had half a chub?
Yeah.
I don't know what he said.
Now, how would you know he has half a chub?
I'm just guessing. He gets all chubbed up when he talks about it.
Is that what we really want on the beginning of this show?
Yeah.
All right.
I have some exciting news.
That'd be great. Let's diverse.
Exciting news.
Wonderful.
I have some exciting news. I put my deposit down on the Kiss Cruise today. I'm definitely going.
Well, good for you.
Cool.
All right. That's the end of this episode. Thanks for tuning in, everyone.
Is that non-refundable?
I don't know.
Just asking. I don't know. Can you get
Well,
your money
that
back?
would require reading the fine print. Ain't nobody got time for that.
All right. I just didn't know. I didn't know if you knew off the top of your head.
So,
man.
do you know what kind of room you're going to get, or where you're going to be, who you're going to be with?
I know who my roommates are. I know what cabin number and all that good stuff is. So.
Cool.
Wow.
Who did you end up going with? People you know, or just people that you?
People that I interacted with on. There's a Facebook page called. I can't even talk today. I'm on medication again.
There's a Facebook page called.
I didn't know if you went to a truck stop and was looking at the bathroom stall and was like, okay, this guy.
There's this chick named Jenny. No, there's a Facebook page called Kiss Shitmates Forever or something like that. I think our good friend Andy Moyen is the one that put it together.
That's cool. Cool.
But, there's a bunch of people in there looking for roommates. And,
Awesome.
My friend Mike had tagged me on a couple of different people. And the guy that I was originally going to room up with, the cost of a room for just two people was a little more than he wanted to spend for his half of it, so he bowed out. But
Right.
the other one, there's three of us in the room, so it makes it a little more reasonable.
That's cool.
That's not bad.
Now
Cool.
I will give Laura credit. She said if you really want to go bad enough and you really want your own room, you can spend the money for that room. But I was like, I appreciate that, but I don't want to go that bad.
Yeah,
Because
that's-
the room by
yeah,
yourself was like over $3,000.
Wow.
Like,
Yeah,
no.
that's expensive.
If I'm paying
Yeah.
$3,000 for a room, Gene and Paul's coming to my room for a visit.
Yeah.
What is
That,
wrong
you're-
with you guys tonight?
that you guys are gonna. I mean, you're gonna be at the room's gonna be a place to crash.
That's exactly
and to
right.
Take a,
And that's
it's
what
like
I told
shit shower, shave, and sleep, and that's it. Other than that,
Shave.
yeah, you don't shave.
What?
Trim.
No.
Whatever you do with
It's
that.
like
stuff.
going to Vegas. Some of these people that go out to Vegas, they pay like $400 for a room, and you get a big room at the Bellagio. And I'm like, what the hell? You're there for what are you doing in there? There's nothing to do.
Right.
Makes sense. Anyway, let's see. Any music news? You guys watched the Grammys last night?
No, and I'm proud of it.
Now, speaking of music news, I heard that Ozzy had been in ICU for pneumonia
flu.
or the flu or
You
something.
got that
Yep.
pneumonia.
I just come off of a cruise ship, so I am totally.
Yeah, he was.
That's not good.
sick.
He was
Pretty
sick, and then Lindsey Buckingham's been sick.
Oh,
he had
yeah.
Yeah.
Lindsey
had
Buckingham got
heart
vocal cord.
surgery. And,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I guess that
Cord
was from the air tube that went down for his
intubation.
pipe. Wow. That happened to my dad's
happens.
cousin, and she talks like this. She has her whole life, and it was just she was going in for appendicitis or something, and it ended up but they somehow nicked her cord and just
Yeah,
plucked it up.
there's a friend of mine that his mom had surgery, and the same thing happened, and it took her,
Yeah.
3 or 4 years before she got her.
It's pretty bad for
Old
Lindsay though.
range.
That'd be like
Yeah.
that'd be like Ron Jeremy getting like
His pecker
some
cut
kind of-
off.
get his pecker cut off or something. He's like, dude, that's how I make my money. I can't.
Man.
Well,
You guys got some pent up frustration, don't you?
Well, I bet once Jeff watches this episode, he'll wish
He's gonna go, never coming on this show again.
On their show again.
I mean, the thing is, we haven't really. We usually spend all of our weeks talking and getting all of our adult jokes and humor out. He's been on a boat for a week, and you've been sick, and I've been busy as a beaver. So I said beaver. But I mean, we just haven't had a chance to get all this angst to this young see Bill.
He's got Bill so cracked up. He's choking on his own saliva.
He sounds like Ozzy now. He's all. We hope the best for Ozzy. But no, I did not watch any of the. I didn't watch any of the things from the Grammys. I did watch some of the videos from the Rock for Asbrock in Nashville, and it was a freaking phenomenal show. I wish to hell that I would have went. That would have been a great show. Highlight for me, James Durbin played with the band, and I forgot to write down the name of the band, but they did Victim of Changes from Priest, and he just knocked it out of the park. There may be something special coming up about that.
He's a really good singer.
Oh, he is real good.
Yeah.
And he's out on tour right now with Quiet Riot. I think he's got a solo thing coming out too, some acoustic. Also, the funniest thing was the Philip Schaus's band, Defense Wins Championships. That's a weird name of a band, but they did the funniest two set. Each of these bands got the two songs. So they came out and they said they did "Hello There" by Cheap Trick, and he says we only got time for one more song. And they did "Goodbye Now" or "Good Night There" or whatever from Cheap Trick. That same song with just different lyrics. I'm like, that's fucking not only funny. It was perfect.
Genius.
It is. It's genius.
It's typical them.
Yeah, I love those guys. But anyway, yeah, they had a really good night of music. There were some other things. I think you look on the internet on YouTube, you can find all kinds of stuff. But I guess they had a very successful, raised a lot of money, had a lot of great door prizes too. Goddamn, They were giving away a Paul Stanley guitar and a bunch of signed stuff from Ace Gene, and just all kinds of people that donated. And thanks to all those people for that too. But missed a good night of music. But damn, I wish.
I was going to go, but I was not feeling well, and I didn't want to go stand for 6 hours, and that was not going to be possible.
Well, and the weird thing on top of that, just funny, was here we just got back from California, and I've been just lagged all week from that, and of course I showed Kelly the videos, and I said, man, I wish I could have went. She said, well, I would have loved to went to Nashville. I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm like. All I had to do was say the word, we would have been there to watch it. I just figured she was the same as me, just could have lagged out from that whole trip. Well,
I said something to Lisa about it last night or Saturday night. We were we were eating dinner, and she goes, "I thought you were going to that." And I said, She goes, "Why didn't you go?" And I said, A, nobody to go with, and B, just don't feel like going. And
right, didn't Noel want to go to that though?
He got something else going on, so he ditched me.
Oh, got you, ditched.
Awesome. Anyway, that's the way it works. What else? Any other big news? Big music news? So Sammy Hagar's going on tour this summer with the Circle, and Night Ranger's going to open. I saw that. That just got announced this week.
I did see today that Heart is going out with
Joan Jett and Sheryl Crow.
Sheryl Crow and Belinda Carlisle.
Ooh.
She's at some shows too. Now I would go see Belinda Carlisle.
Ditto.
I mean,
ditto.
Ditto. Ditto. But no, I've seen Joan Jett numerous times. We've seen Heart. They were okay. Sheryl Crow, I guess, would be okay, but yeah, I want to see Belinda Carlisle.
Put on a good show, I bet you.
I bet you would. I bet she would too. I don't think that's all the shows. I just seen there was one flyer for that. I seen another show where they're talking about it was Heart, Joan Jett, and somebody else. I don't remember. So I guess it's select shows that these are going to show up, but that's a heavy female hitting headline for.
Wow. Was that a weight reference?
No.
Seriously?
Oh my God.
You went there.
That was not right.
Well, I mean, that's
heavy hitting female lineup is what he meant to say.
Yeah. How did I say it?
That's not what you said.
Heavyweight. I did say heavyweight. No wonder I'm always in trouble with women. I just can't say the right thing. I mean it well. I just don't say it well. One thing else, real quick. Band out of Nashville called Denman. check them out on Spotify or get their album wherever you can find them.
Spell that.
I just Denman. Den Man.
One word or two?
One word. We saw them at the Rockin' Pod last year.
Yep.
A couple of the guys were there, and they played some of the after parties and stuff. And for some reason, I just never got around to listening to them till I don't know. I was going through those videos from that Asbrock thing, and I seen them, and I went and then listened to the album. I'm like going, God damn! I mean, that's some good two guitar. Rock is not dead. You just got to find it, and I found some. That's some good shit.
Yeah, Rick, Chris Sinzak turned me onto some new stuff too. It was Full Nelson, which is a UK band.
Wow.
Rock band. I thought they were really pretty good. I listened to them. But I got that from somebody else that he had shared that with, and I can't remember who else it was posted. Who posted it? It's somebody. I'm sure.
In some band yesterday. I don't remember.
It's pretty cool stuff.
That is cool stuff.
Yep, got to find new stuff all the time. That's what we got to do. New
Exactly.
stuff.
I think though, other than that, I think just glad to be back. I hated missing a week, and I'm glad to be back. And
Well, if you're going to be back, the best way to be back is with Jeff Pilson. Holy mackerel!
Yeah, a couple more than I got.
Just a couple here and there, but
Nice.
anyways,
Hell yeah!
you can see why I love being home in my studio.
Exactly.
There you go. Is one of those your favorite, or are those just?
There is my baby. I have I have a Fender Precision bass that I've had for about 33 years. That is a pretty spectacular one. It's a 1958 Fender Precision. And that's right over there. And that's if I had to have a baby in the room, that's my baby. But I also have a beautiful 55 Les Paul. It's really cool. And so,
Wow.
but how do you decide which is your favorite? It's tough.
Cool.
Exactly.
So how you doing?
I'm doing
Right.
wonderful. Wonderful.
Good.
All right, so
We want to talk. Yeah, we want to talk
start?
about your. Yeah. I don't know. Are you ready, Alan? You're recording, aren't you? Yeah. You want to? We're going to talk to you tonight about a lot of stuff, of course, but the End Machine.
Yes.
Which is a great new project. I'm very excited to hear about, and I listened to a live today. I don't know, 5 or 6 times today, something like that.
Nice.
It's awesome, man.
It's nice.
It is nice.
It's an enjoyable process. Yeah, very excited about that. The record comes out March 22nd, and just really excited. It's going to be. We even have 3 shows booked in April, so we're full on with this one.
Are those all Vegas shows? Or are you doing?
No, one is Los Angeles, one is Vegas, and one is Tucson.
Ah,
And we're doing
Actually-
VIPs, the whole bit. So it's gonna be a good time.
cool. Yeah, the April show is in LA. Is at the Whiskey, right?
Correct.
So I had a conference I was supposed to attend out there, and be out there Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, fly back Thursday. So I thought maybe I could figure out and I could go to the show. And then I went to make my plane reservations and got a call that it got canceled.
The whole conference did.
Yeah, it filled up, so my reservation got canceled. So
Oh, bummer.
I hadn't made my plane reservation yet. I'm like, well, nobody wants me to see Jeff Pilson. I mean,
Oh.
go to some conference.
Oh, man, sorry about that.
That's okay.
Oh well. Next.
I'll get to see you this summer, I think. So.
Yeah.
So, how did that come about? And what's the long-term plan? Is there a long-term plan for that, or is this
There is a long-term plan. I mean, the bottom line is we love making music together, and we have great chemistry. And now with Robert in the picture, it's a real solid thing. It feels like a real band. We're going to do some real shows, some actual shows, so that we prove it is more than just a recording project. So yeah, we would love to. We have a long-term vision. We want to do more of this. Does the long-term vision have a lot of concrete plans? No. How could we do that now? And we're all busy and we all have plenty to do. But it is something that we do want to invest our time in and build and nurture it over time and see what happens. When you have good chemistry, when you make good music together and you enjoy being together, those are valuable commodities, and you don't let go of those easy.
Yeah, those are probably hard to come by sometimes, I'm sure.
They really can be. I mean, listen, I enjoy working with a lot of people, and I have a lot of people that I have good chemistry with. But, I mean, I've got a 35, 36-year history with George that is so ridiculously solid that, we know that for the rest of our lives, while we're making music, we want to be able to make music together. So I think this will always be there in one form or another. And now, Robert entering the picture. Robert is just a great singer, great writer. It really is a nice band for us to all sink our teeth into and to really shine together, which is one of the great things about making music with other people.
Yeah, great. And Robert was on.
Sorry.
Robert was on the TNA. Or TNA, the TNN. He might have been. I don't know.
Yeah.
The TNN album too from 2012, right? Because he did. It's Not Love.
It's Not Love. That's correct.
Yeah.
And I mean, listen, we've known Robert a long time, anyways. I also did a Warrant record with him a couple years ago, and that was the first time I actually got to write together with him or work with him, in that capacity, and that was really great. We really enjoyed making that Warrant record together. Very proud of that record. And so when the idea of him joining up with George and I and Mick, it was just like, wow, no brainer.
Cool.
Yeah, the new song. I mean, I've been playing it also, like Bill has, and I like it because it's got that old flair to it, but it sounds new also. It's got. I mean, I think it's something that all fans can get something out of it. Your older fans, and then the new younger people go, it's a good sound. It's a fresh sounding song.
Well, a lot of people have mentioned that it seems fresh. We're not afraid of our influences, but there's something fresh about that, and that excites us because all we wanted to do was set out to make something that we were honest about, and that was something that we really enjoyed and felt strongly about, and. We didn't want to put any limits on it. It has to be like this. It can't be like this. There weren't really limits, at least not too many. And that made for a very productive and creative flow of the whole songwriting and recording process. And I think the results really came through with it because, like I say, we let ourselves explore, and yet we stayed true to our roots. And, it just made for a really pleasant overall recording experience, which, like I say, it's worth its weight in gold.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the rest of the album. It's going to be good. And that comes out March
22nd.
Oh, that's going to be great.
March 22nd. Yep.
So you want to talk about any other cuts on the record?
Well, I mean, the next one that we're going to do a video for is actually the opening track of the record, and it's called "Leap of Faith." We've done the video already. I think that'll be coming out probably next month, I would assume. And it's another great track. I mean, it's got a really monstrous George riff in it that it's George at his finest, just evil and mean and in the groove. And Robert sings the crap out of it. I don't know if we can swear on here, but
you can swear. You can say whatever you want.
I'll keep it clean. And it's just a really strong song and great album opener. There's a song called "Burn the Truth," which I know we're in the process of making a lyric video for, because it's a song that all four guys in the band feel really strongly about. So I'm not sure when that'll come out, sometime in the spring. But that's a song. It's a standout song for us. I mean, I hope it is for other people too. But it's just a track that we feel real strongly about. It starts off with just an acoustic guitar, George playing this really wonderful acoustic guitar line. And then it just goes through everything and then ends up full tilt, balls out rock by the end. And it's really cool. So "Burn the Truth," that's another strong one. There's a song called "Sleeping Voices" that I just really am excited about. That George does a solo on the end that we were doing an overdub of another part. And he was playing and the sound just inspired him. And he said, "I got to do the solo right now. So, boom, plug it in, go, boom, boom. And he just did the solo. Most of it was the first take. And it was just him on fire, inspired, in the moment. And to capture stuff like that that's what I do it for, moments like that. And some of George's playing on this record is just so otherworldly. I'm just so proud of him on this thing. He's such an amazing player, and I love it when I get to hear it back. It's just amazing.
Awesome. Yeah, moments like that are, like you said, those ones are sometimes they're just out of left field, and they're just the best things you can do. You can sit there all day and try to figure something out, but like you get something like that.
That's right.
And then you put it down, it's like magic.
That's it.
It's amazing, you know. Many people talk about in the music industry now. Why would artists put out new music? It's that reason.
Yeah.
It's that. It's not about necessarily about. I don't think
it's not.
It's not about the money anymore. It's got to be about what you get out of it.
Communicating. You know, I mean, I love playing live shows, and there is some new music.
We're having technical difficulties with you, Jeff.
Hold on. Yeah, you're locked up.
Yeah, he's locked up.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was just me.
No, it was. Hold on, we'll wait a second.
Okay,
there he is.
back.
There he is.
Okay. So I guess you missed that. I was just saying, it's great to.
It was probably the best thing you ever said, and see now it's gone.
It's all gone now. Basically,
You're breaking up again.
and crap again. Really, you got me now. Hello.
For the moment.
For the moment, yeah. It'd been good up till then.
So communicating the music to an audience. It's not about the money anymore. It's about the way of doing it. So yeah.
Exactly.
Cool.
Well, that is cool. So I got a question for you. Excuse me. You know, for fans of yours that says, man, I wish Jeff would do something because we just don't have anything out of Jeff. I mean, he just doesn't do anything anymore. I just seen the other day you're doing a project with Matt Starr, who is with Ace Frehley right now with our friends, you know, Phil and Ryan and Jeremy. And then you got Red Beach and then Robin McCauley. What is this project? Is this you said talk about that?
That's what I'm actually working on right now. It's probably going to come out later in the year. We're actually done tracking the record, so I'm just now kind of finishing up the editing process and comping and all that stuff. And we're going to have next later in the spring. And like I say, it'll come out, I'm guessing, no earlier than fall, but late fall maybe. I can't tell you the name. They got a name for the project that's really cool, but I can't tell it to you until there's the big announcement. Gotcha. But it's amazing music. It's Reb Beach at his finest. Robin McCauley, like you haven't heard. I mean, his vocals on this are just insanely great. His writing, insanely great. Reb has always been a great writer. I mean, he's underrated at what a great writer he is. Partly because he's such a great guitar player that sort of overshadows, but he is just a fabulous overall musician. And he and I are really good friends, and we really enjoy working together. So this was nothing but a joyful project. I mean, and then Matt came in and just nailed the drums. And, you know, so hopefully that project too will get to play live because vocally, I don't know if you've heard Matt sing, but Matt is incredible. Right. And Rev actually sings quite well too. So there would be four of us singing. That would be scary. So hopefully that will get a chance the light of day live as well. But the record definitely out later in the year, so watch for that. It's like I say, it's amazing work from Reb, Robin, and Matt. It's just amazing.
It's great.
Staying on the same vibe of what you guys, usually do is like Reb's music. Is it?
I mean, it's a little bit White Snake. It will remind you of Macaulay Schenker because of Robin's voice, but you know, it gets a little more involved. It's probably heavier than Macaulay Schenker. It's like I said, it's kind of in the White Snake zone. Cool. There's a couple of beautiful ballads. There's some really interesting pieces. There's one that starts off with piano and then it starts out, it's kind of Queen-like, really. It's a kind of a Queen-like piano song that goes into a full-on rock song at the end. It's really cool.
Cool. I'm always excited to hear anything that you guys are doing or when any new music coming out. I mean, that's what we're looking for because, you know, rock isn't dead. You just got to find it. That's the whole point, you know.
Lost. Trying again. So I had to reboot my modem, so hopefully that helped.
Well, that or cool.
Oh, look at there.
Yeah.
Sorry, man.
Sorry about that.
That's
Yeah,
okay.
Technology's wonderful
Alan
when it works.
we thought Alan said something bad, and you just left and said,
Yeah.
hell with this
I know.
Yeah, the one guy with the muted microphone here is the one that pissed Jeff off.
Well, actually, your video is a lot better. It's not as blocky as it was. That probably helped. He's
Good.
awesome.
We
All
probably
right.
don't have a house like we do where we have kids around here that are just like sucking all of our internet.
I have a daughter, but she's actually really good. She uses internet mostly for schoolwork. So
Wow.
I know it's pretty crazy.
Better write that song. That's like
Yeah.
All right.
All right, what were we talking about? You were talking about the other band.
Finished up with that. You got through that.
Yep.
So, Bill, you want to?
Yeah, so going back to the End Machine.
Yes.
Talk to me about the title. How did the title of that band come about?
Oh, the name of the band.
Name of the band.
Well, we wanted to use The End. We thought that would be really cool. And then, it turns out there was like 400 and some trademarks for that. So somebody, I don't remember, I think it was George actually, came up with the machine on top of it. And we thought, yeah, that sounds cool. Like that. So we went with it. There you go.
Gene Simmons was one of those people that had the trademark on the end.
Probably.
The end of the road.
Yeah, end of the road.
No, Paul got that one, remember?
That's
he did.
true.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah, Paul did. So
those two are fighting. That's how it works. So what's going on with Foreigner? Are you guys going out this summer? I know that are doing a tour or just some one-off stuff?
No, we're always out there. I'm actually leaving tomorrow. We're doing a private show in the Caribbean on Thursday, so I'm leaving tomorrow to get there. And then we're starting a Canadian tour. I believe the first show is the 22nd of February, 21st or 22nd of February. 21st of February is the first show on the Canadian tour. So we'll be in Canada for about 3.5 weeks. And then just PACs, casinos, corporates, that kind of thing. And then we're going to go over to Europe in the summer and do all the big rock festivals over there.
cool.
Because, we did a shed tour last year in America.
Mhm.
So it's kind of good to alternate that with the following year doing the festivals in Europe. So we're going to do that. Then we're going to come back in the fall and do more stuff in America and the summer, but not shed stuff. We're staying out of the sheds this year because next year we're going to do another big shed tour. So we're kind of saving up for that. But we'll be plenty busy all the way into November. So
Cool.
be a
Well,
hectic year.
Let me give you fair warning. I just came back from the Caribbean, and it's nice and hot down there right now. You've been warned, buddy.
I'll take it. Thank
So
you.
you're gonna fly to the Caribbean and then go spend 3 weeks in Canada in February.
Yeah.
That makes sense, doesn't it?
Sounds
So
brilliant.
So when you do that tour up in Canada, is it just Foreigner headlining, and then you're gonna have some smaller bands? Or are you co doing these, or
We're not co with anybody. I'm not sure who's opening. I know we did one with Prism one year. We did one with what's the other big Canadian band? Helix.
Helix?
Yeah. Helix.
Yeah, Helix. We did one with Helix. So I'm not sure who's opening, but it's kind of cool that we're up there because we've got this Jukebox Hero, the musical, going on in Canada right now.
Right.
And there's another run of that opening in Toronto in February. So it's pretty cool that we got all this stuff going on. It's going to help keep the excitement for the musical going, which is going great, but it's always good to help cross promote.
Yeah,
Will that is that going to end up on Broadway, or is it just going to stay up there for maybe?
Well, I mean, I think that would be the hopeful plan. That kind of thing doesn't happen overnight. I think they've also talked about they'd like to tour it at some point and actually have it being
That'd
a
be
touring
cool.
thing, which I think could be kind of cool. Especially with something like Foreigner, where it's kind of heartland music. People,
Right.
in the it's not just the people in New York or London that like it. So it would I could see it touring. I'm sure they'd love to put it to Broadway. We'll see. It's getting really good reviews and really good response. So I think it's got as good a shot as any. It's really well done. I mean, the people that have done it have done great. You know, I'm the music supervisor, so I'll say the music is strong. But the musical director that's doing all that is just doing a fabulous job, and it's really good people. The director Randy Johnson is just wonderful. I mean, he is wonderful. So if you're in Canada, you got to go see this thing. It's really coming out great.
How did that come about? I mean, was it did you guys was it a brainchild of you guys, or was it
the idea got planted in Mick Jones's head when he ran into Diana Ross at the airport one time, and they were just sitting in the lounge talking, and Diana Ross said to him, "You know, your stuff would be great for a Broadway musical." And Mick just kind of said, "Wow, I've never thought of that." And so it kind of planted the seed in his head. And you know, the guys that wrote the story, The Commitments,
Right.
Dick and Ian, are good friends of Mick's. And apparently one night that came up in a conversation. They were just talking, and he mentioned, "Yeah, Diana Ross said it'd be a great musical." And they were like, light bulb, you know. So they ended up writing the story, and kind of kept in collaboration with Mick all during it, who was very excited about it. And one thing led to another, and our management team are on board with helping find the funding, and the producer in Canada, who's a guy by the name of Jeff Perry, who promotes our shows up there, coincidentally. And Jeff has done a lot of musicals up in Canada, so it really was serendipitous. It just worked out really well, and Jeff was really excited about bringing it to the Canadian audiences, and we had a lot of meetings about how he wanted the music. He wanted the music a little more authentic than a lot of the musicals do. And of course, you have to change things around for the stories. You modernize certain things, but he loved. He's come to a lot of Foreigner shows. He says, "Look, I want the vibe that I get when I see Foreigner. I want that," and so that's why they hired me. And we just really worked hard to make it great, and I'm very, very proud of it.
Cool. Sounds cool. It sounds really cool.
Yeah, okay.
I wish it was down here. Now I have to go to Canada.
Road trip. Not in February.
No, I have actually spent time in Canada, actually in northern Alberta in January. It's not a nice place. It's cold.
Well, it's a nice place. It's just a very cold place.
Yeah, it's just cold. It's really cold.
Really cold.
No, I like Canada.
Yeah, I did see that Foreigner is going to play the Carb Day at the 500 this year. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
I never. That's what I saw.
No, I believe you. You probably know more than I do. I do know there is something to do with the Indianapolis 500.
Yeah, we are. There's a group of us.
Hang on, can we take a daughter break? Hold on.
Oh, absolutely.
Sure.
Okay. She just needs the Wi-Fi password. See? Talking about the internet. There you go.
Oh, what was that again?
And see, did you hear what she said? She said she needs it for her homework.
There you go.
Wow.
I was telling them. They were commenting about how their kids use the internet all the time. I said, well, my daughter mostly uses it for schoolwork.
Right.
And music. There you go.
There you go. Talking songs. She listens to talking.
This is my daughter, Olivia.
Hey, nice to meet you.
Hi, Olivia.
Awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So I was interested more in your studio. Do you record everything down there, or is that?
Sure. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I got a drum room back there with great drum kit in it, and I've got an amp isolation room right there. So yeah, I have all the mics and all the stuff you need, and yeah, I do the entire records in here. It's wonderful.
So the end machine, is that? Did you do that there, or do you produce that as well?
Oh yeah, yes, I produced it, and yeah, we did it here, all of it.
So thinking back from, back in the day when you guys weren't producing your own stuff, do you like producing your own stuff better? Do you?
Oh, way better.
Way better?
Yeah.
What's the difference, do you think?
I love working with producers. I've worked with a lot of great producers, and don't get me wrong, that's a wonderful experience. When you connect with a producer, it can be great. And if it's the type of thing where you have a producer there to kind of, especially like with Dokken, it was kind of nice to have producers because we were always kind of arguing, and it was nice to have somebody, a referee, so to speak. And we were younger then, so we needed the learning experience. I mean, from day one when I joined Doc, and I was very involved in the recordings, and I always ended up making friends with the engineers and producers because I knew someday I wanted to do that. But now that we know what we want and we know what we want to sound like, and I have the equipment and the know-how to do it, why have somebody else do it? That's really what it comes down to. I know what George likes. I know how to make him comfortable and get him in a position where he's going to be inspired. And that's all you need to do. Get him inspired, and it happens automatically. I know how to work with vocalists. I know how to get great drum sounds, and I know how to work with drummers to get the best out of them. So again, it's like, and I just enjoy doing it. I really enjoy the process. I love working with other producers, and other guys could, probably do a great job as well. But I love doing it. So I'm glad I get it.
And two, you got to remember this too, though. There's two things. At first it was a necessity because, like you said, you were young, you didn't know what you were doing, and you used that as an education to learn how to do things.
Right.
And back in that time, a person couldn't afford to have a studio.
That's right.
It was impossible back in those days to have the equipment.
Yeah.
Now you can have the equipment, and it doesn't cost an arm and a leg to be able to. That's why a kid in his garage or in his basement can be recording really good quality recordings with just simple things.
That's right. And listen, I've invested quite a bit in my studio, so it's not, but you are absolutely right. And I wish I would have had that mentality 30 years ago of, hey, I'm going to start acquiring things. And, it took me a while to catch on to that. Because boy, would I have gotten a lot of great deals.
Exactly. You'd be like Dave Grohl and end up with the Neve board, or something.
Yeah. Well, I mean, of course, resources aren't a problem for Dave Grohl, but you know what? Kudos to him for making sure that board didn't go to waste, and it's still out there making great music, and I love that about him. I think that's the coolest thing in the world.
That was funny. They said somebody, "What are you going to do with this?" He goes, "Well, I'm going to use the damn thing." It's like that was the whole point. It's not going to a museum. We're going to make some recordings with it.
It's an amazing piece. I've used that board many times. It's awesome.
Right, exactly. So is it all yours is digital? Then you don't do any kind of tape or anything like that?
Well, I don't use tape, but I have like all that stuff down there, those microphone preamps and everything. Those are all pieces of analog gear that if you warm it up on the front end with really good, and especially personally, I love vintage analog gear. If you warm it up on the front, you don't get that harsh digital thing. And then digital just preserves what you have, which is great. So as long as you have really good front end with analog stuff that makes it warm and big and fat, your digital will then preserve that, and that's what you want.
Well, most of the stuff was, like I said, it was recorded analog wise, but then it's always been transferred to digital. So it doesn't, like you said, if your front end's good,
that's it. CD.
It's gonna be real
CD
good.
days, yes, and now people are used to hearing on MP3s and earbuds and all that crap. So unfortunately, we're in kind of a lull for the expectations of quality in the music industry right now. But that's going to change. As soon as you have 5G internet, which is 100 times the bandwidth and speed that we have now, that's not far off. That's probably just a couple years away.
Once that happens, that far away.
Not even that far away. You're right. I was being, being cautious. But when that happens, you're going to have the opportunity to have really high quality stuff going out there. Foreigner just did a mix recently. A good friend of mine works at HBO, and HBO has an Atmos mixing room. And I don't know if you've heard of the Atmos format, but Atmos kind of like surround sound on steroids. It's amazing. Right. You have stuff in the ceiling. You have all these speakers. It's 9 speaker systems, but it's really immersive. You really, with the height thing, you really get the sense of depth. So we did a mix in Atmos, and while I was there and listening to it, I said, well, this is it. This is where it's going to go next, because pretty soon you're going to get in your car and you're going to feel like the music is completely around you. And it's going to really feel that way, and it's going to be wonderful, and it's going to make people a little more excited about the sound of recordings again. I believe. I hope. At least I hope.
So do you think that's why people have started to go back to vinyl?
Well, I think people went back to vinyl partly because of the nostalgia of it, because, but there is a sound about analog that digital doesn't have. There's a pleasantness about it that, I really believe that listening to too much digital makes people kind of turn the music out. They tune it out, especially when it's made really loud. It's always made maximum loud now. So there's a harshness about it that I think fatigues your ears. And I think people, when they go back and hear real vinyl again, it's like, oh, that air and that space. And there's a beauty about vinyl that I think we're not too far away from digital being able to start getting that, as long as we have the bandwidth and the space inside the digital format to really recreate that, which I think we're on the verge of. Like I said, when I heard that Atmos mix, it was very, very telling. And yeah, I think that is kind of why people go back to vinyl. It just sounds better.
Yeah, when my son found my player in the closet, and he said, "Hey, can I hook this up, my turntable?" And I said, "Sure." So he hooked it up, and AC/DC was the first album that was in the list. He pulled it out and he played it. And he goes, "This sounds kind of scratchy." I said, "But you just need to listen to it." So he listens to it, and I said, "Tell me what sounds different than that." He goes, "It sounds bigger." And I said, "Yes, yes, it does." And now turn it up louder because it sounds even better.
Yeah. And what people also have to do, they have to get their systems compatible with the whole turntable phonograph format. But yeah, I hear you.
I just bought a brand new turntable here the other day, and it's one of these American handmade ones. And I tell you what,
nice.
You put that on there, and it's like I said, through an old Yamaha with the actual. It doesn't have a all these newer ones have a preamp built into it. This goes to the stereo and preamps from there, and the sound is just absolutely, just completely different. I mean, I was like, oh my god! I was listening all weekend. I was doing my taxes, listening to some old albums. Like, oh my god, this sounds so good.
Fall in love with it again, huh? Yeah,
it does.
I know.
It's awesome.
Cool.
All right. Well, Jeff,
appreciate your time tonight, man.
Oh,
it's awesome.
Thank you, guys. That was fun, and it's always good to see you guys. And
thank you.
Keep in touch, and we'll probably talk hopefully when the Red Beach Robin McCauley project comes out, and then I can tell you the name.
Tell us the name.
What was the name?
We're looking forward to the 22nd of March too. For the release of that album. I'm sure you said you're going to be releasing a video before then, probably.
I'm not sure when the second video is coming out. I would assume it's around then, but I don't know for sure. But yeah, watch for the next video is called Leap of Faith, and the record drops March 22nd. So looking forward to that.
Anything else you want to plug, or any websites or any of that stuff?
No, just I'm the real Jeff Pilson on Twitter, I believe. I think that's what I am.
Maybe real, maybe not. Don't know.
Look for me, find me. Come on. There's a Facebook fan page that I love to have people get on. So yeah, just look for it. A lot of good stuff coming.
All right, man.
Well,
thank you very much, man.
Let us down.
My pleasure, man. Thank you, guys.
All right, folks.
All right, thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us for another episode. Check us out on 80sofrock.com. Check out all of our social media stuff. And, hey, pretty soon we're going to be on another internet radio station. More details later. Till next week.
We just had Jeff Pilson on our show.
I know. Thanks for listening to the Ages of Rock podcast. If you haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and most importantly, tell all your friends. Remember, you're never too old to rock. Until the next episode, peace out, folks.